Good morning and welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to look at some sidereal astrology. This is where the planets are actually in the sky right now at this moment. This game I'm playing in the background, it's pretty good for your mind. If you play it 30 minutes a day, you sleep really good. You don't have problems going to sleep either. Okay, so today being Sunday, on sidereal, Sun, Mercury, and Uranus are in Taurus in the 11th house. This reflects a change and disruption that challenges your established routines and values. We have Moon and Chiron in Aries 10th house master chart. This reflects a blend of emotional and professional dynamics. You might find yourself being emotionally direct, enthusiastic, and driven by passion. However, the inner self of this is holding in deep wounds and vulnerability related to self-expression, confidence, and initiative. Our rising today is Mars and Fortune in Cancer. Cancer rising, the first house. Strong assertiveness and deep connection to the self. Emotional well-being and self-expression. You might find yourself sensitive and deeply connected to your feelings today. There's a need to learn to manage your emotions more efficiently. Our Venus today is placed with Venus, Neptune, and Saturn with the North Node in Pisces, the 9th house. This indicates a focus on spiritual growth, higher education, and relationships, both romantic and idealistic, but potentially demanding. This is telling you that there's a desire for understanding connections and transcendence through travel, study, or artistic pursuits. A note from this placement is telling you to be mindful of unrealistic expectations and delusionment in relationships and pursuing goals. Venus represents Freya, or in the Vedic mythologies, Shukraya, Venus. And it's interesting because yesterday, while looking at the tube, we all changed from the boob tube to the YouTube, right? But it's just, I had some downtime. I turned on YouTube while I was waiting for a engagement where we were going yesterday. And a video about remembering Freya popped up. And it was funny because, like, yesterday's reading that I put on, without realizing, were all the teachings of Freya. More about wisdom and being accepting of your emotions, not bowing to anyone, not relying or depending on specific gods or deities as your hierarchy, more in tune with the entirety of your reality than anything else. Freya brings the energy of not fearing or horrifying death, but embracing it and loving the dead just as they are still alive today. Being in touch with nature and all things around you, a higher magic, one with your sexuality, your independence, and really just owning yourself as is and not looking at yourself as a shadow. When I looked at the clock before, just a second ago, it said 444 while I was describing this. So that's a message to note. Then later on that day, or last night, as I was laying down to go to sleep, I turned on Minecraft and I was creating in my cave my mind that I was creating. And a green-eyed cat entered the castle doors and scaled down into my little world I was creating under the ground. So I fed it some fish. Freya's resembled by cats. Higher wisdom, death, magic, one with the universe, peace and plenty, abundance, love, fertility, honoring sexual energies, mastery of self, and just being truly content in yourself. So, things like that are signs and synchronicities that happened. Even though we all kind of abandoned the boob tube for carrying around a tube in our hand, we still receive signs from anything in this universe if you're open to receive them. Some oracle today is you might be on a spiritual quest. This could involve generosity, childlike expression, and steadfastness. What this actually means, if we take the romanticism out of it, is practice a daily meditation routine. Be present. Reflect. Unlock your true potential by finding your true purpose within. Rise above any challenges that are holding you back. Being present is a very strong embodiment to be because it shows you are here right now. In conversations, you're not looking to the left or looking to the right or looking in the back or looking for what you're going to do later. You're right there at the moment. Reflection is to sit back and just kind of think about your day. Think about yourself. How are you seeing the world? What kind of things do you realize your actions either create or are crying for? Reflection. Go through your life, kind of understand yourself. Learn about your own motives and mentalities. Meditation can be these two in one. Just sitting there, being present, not worrying about what time it is right now, not worrying about what time you have to be somewhere, and reflecting on your life, on your day, on your feelings, how you view life. Reflection. You want to look for and assume the best in people. So, you must treat others with respect and acceptance. This will help you see the best in others. Hang on really quick. Be tolerant with others. Understand your life journey and everyone else's life journey and purpose. Did you realize that your purpose was being more free, open, and loving? Just like you were as a child. Bring that back into your life. This is your life purpose. Connect with your inner child and live in more fun, positive energy. Kindness, dedication, and communication keep relationships alive. Trusting and loving. Be strong when protecting and gentle when nurturing. Lead gently and inclusive. And trust your telepathy at this time. Yes, telepathy is a real thing. Change is about to show up in your work or relationship. So, embody these energies so that you can move forward in a good, positive manner. Present with yourself, aware of yourself, your position, your actions, how this world is relating to you, how your thoughts are, Are your thoughts too hyper-focused on what do you have to do at any given time except for right now? Are you seeing the good in others? Do you assume the good in others? Have you been living in your more childlike energy? If not, connect that. Trust is telepathy. Talking about telepathy, this can be strange things like you think of somebody and the phone rings, or in another sense, as you're thinking about something, a person that you know just happens to turn on a YouTube video and gets that message, that exact message that you were thinking. And then later on when you guys talk, you realize, oh wow, that's exactly what I was thinking at that moment. You two were engaged in a telepathic communication at that time. And of course, if you're one with your telepathy, you know already. You have conversations with people. And there's no question. You just trust it, go with it, and it's part of your life at this point. So I'm going to pull some cards that really dive into the unconscious. The unconscious is the realm of the Akashic records, right? It's the dream state, the spirit world, the other dimensions that you can't truly see all the time here unless you're in tune. You can see them. A lot of people do see the other dimensions right here. I myself am one of them people. But the unconscious realm is the full color picture of the spirit world. So let's see what we got. Mirroring. What you're mirroring. This is like looking at yourself in the mirror. Seeing the spirals. There's a lot of spirals in these. As you stare in the mirror, you see things swirling around. Kind of feels like you're upside down, swirling around a mystery. There's 4 versions of yourself you see in this image. I feel like what you're trying to do is bring these 4 selves into alignment. Almost as if your world has been turned upside down. Do you feel like your growth has been stunted? That what you grow only goes into the world? There's an indication here too, if this is how you're feeling with all these spirals in here, study the moon, the lunar phases, placements, degrees, houses, nakshatras. Zodiacal astrology can help you with this. Can really help you understand. There's an old Druid practice. Yesterday was 2 days before the full, or 3 days before the new moon. So yesterday's a day of writing down what has not worked for you and burying it in the ground. Then you just allow the phase all the way through the new moon to germinate those seeds you planted in the ground. And at the very first sliver of the waxing phase of the moon, you look up the alignments. What degree is the moon? What planet or what house? What nakshatra and what planets are with it? Write all that down. Understand yourself. Watch as the magic of your mind unlocks. You're like, oh wow. It's like a telephone number to the universe. And I understand now. But from that point, the first sliver, every 2 days, do the same thing. When the full moon comes, you look at what have you learned and what has come to you in your life. And then start writing down a list of what does not work in your life. And then from the full moon, every 2 days, Slowly write down things you're ready to let go of so that 3 days before the new moon again, you can bury that list and start over. This helps you get out of the spiral that you're looking for. You're searching in the mirror for something. You feel like you're standing alone in the woods in your nightgown as these 4 versions of yourself. This could very possibly be the 4 masks you portray in life may be leaving you in a lot of confusion. 4 masks in life could be like you yourself as you are in your living room when no one's around. You with your friends or lover or whatever. You with your work. And you with your family relations or whatever. There's 4 versions of yourself that you're trying to understand. Tap into the moon, because at this point, your entire growth is kind of upside down. You're looking for a specific key. And the problem is, you don't know where to look. Again, here we've got trapped in a keyhole, upside down, while some kind of animals have been making you bleed from the heart. Again, we're indicated here by following the moon in these cards. Do you feel like you're in a garden looking for nurture and you just don't know where to start? Because you've got the tools, you've got the vessel to hold everything, but you have this lost look on your face like, where do I go from here? Finding this key and will turn your life around. But remember, the key is within. It's not a key. There is no door except for your own mind. This could very possibly be, the key you're looking for could very possibly be, open your mind to mysterious things and allow those to make sense. Studying things like the moon, tapping into zodiacal astrology, where the planets actually are. Normally I do Western because that's what everybody understands. But putting the nakshatra placements over Western astrology just kind of, it does give a very accurate reading, but to me it felt out of alignment. So open your mind to some new things and see if that's the key you're missing. Are you someone who kind of sort of believes in these things because your Facebook feed and the things you watch on YouTube talk about it? Or are you one with these practices? Do you dive into them? Is it truly something you're into? If it's not, then that's okay too. Understand that if you're looking into spiritual practices or astrological practices, esoteric, shamanic practices, you're just trying to find yourself. Some of us have just kind of lived by this. Outdoorsmen have been very in tune with shamanic practices because it helped us learn when to go fish, when to go hunt, how to stay in balance with nature, when to plant crops in the garden, how to grow them, seeds by the lunar phase, etc., etc. And this is going to be the key you're looking for. Are you into these things? Then dive into them, embrace them, embody them, live them, nurture your soul with esoteric practices, because that's what you're mirroring to yourself. What am I missing in life? Well, I see the key here is you need to dive into something that you're actually passionate about. This is going back to our oracle and astrology today. Finding your true routines and values to help your emotional and professional dynamics, assertiveness and deeper connection to yourself. Spiritual growth and higher education is your key. And if it's not your key, that's fine. You're able to hear this message, go and look at yourself in a different light, and actually find what you're looking for. One more card before we go. You got to peel back the many layers of yourself. Right now, you may feel like you smell like an onion. This is because you got to open up the layers and get to the core of who you are. This is your base, your solid ground to stand on. Thank you for your time today. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends if it helps. This helps me send more videos. Thank you.